ready?
I'm ready.
It's 6 o'clock, so we'll call this finance meeting to order. The first thing we have then, Mr. Coyne is gone tonight, so I'll be filling in as President Pro Tem, the committee chair for finance in this case. So first thing we have is assignment of request for council action for the Finance Committee, 17-128, fund transfer for the Railroad Fund, 17-129, budget amendments, 17-130, amend ordinance 99-17 for council salaries, 17-131, approve a 3-year capital improvement plan for the MCRC, 17-132 is amend salary and benefits codes, various sections, 17-134, expenditure over 15,000 United Survey for the street department. And then we had one item for request for council action for streets and sidewalks, 17-133, grant application for Ohio Public Works Commission for South Broadway Street. First up is amend salary and benefits code, police chief, fire chief, civil service classification. We had some discussion about this our last meeting. Since then, civil service, as the mayor pointed out, they didn't even want to consider it. They didn't even vote on it or change anything. It's civil service, they weren't interested in it. John asked that it come back here because we had tabled it last time, we did not vote on it. Kathy, do you want to update a little bit about what you sent? Mr. Huber Kathy had forwarded some things to Mr. Huber, but Mr. Huber's not going to be able to be here tonight.
Yeah, I sent him the section of the Ohio Revised Code, so I thought maybe there was something in there that stipulated why or who could change the rules of the Civil Service Commission, other than if council could do that. So he was supposed to look into it, but I never heard back from him, so on that point. And then there was some other things, you know, the charter amendment that was done in the 70s that I saw that it went to the voters on the process, so I don't think you can go ahead and change that without going back to the voters. But again, I'm not sure on that, so that would be like our legal counsel should look into that.
Well, I know when we talked about it last time, we were talking about where everybody felt or whether this was something that we wanted to pursue or not. And I don't know if anybody feels differently than how they felt that evening. I mean, we could theoretically here tonight vote on this and be done with it if the majority felt like we weren't interested in making this change. You said civil service was not interested in even discussing it or taking a vote on it. They left it as is.
Well, if it has to go back to the voters, I think we should at least give our opinion whether we think we should put Kathy and Huber and everybody else through the process of.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was thinking. Well, are we going to make Greg do this research?
Well, and on that note, if you wanted to go to the voters, I mean, we're looking to fill a position right now. So the process to go to the voters is going to take quite some time. It's too late now to get it for this election, so you have to wait till next election.
I'm not in favor of changing it anyway. I would prefer that we have those two positions remain under civil service. And you know, if there's a majority of us that feel that way, then why have Greg go and Kathy do the work for it? Because there would be no, it wouldn't matter what they, you know, if they came up and said, yeah, you can change, but we don't want to.
Right.
I'm comfortable with it the way it is.
I am too. And I understand why John, one of the reasons that he wanted to go this route, but I think it would be too much work, and as the mayor and the fire chief said in our last meeting, which I agree with, it would really change the number of, or the people that probably would be interested in applying for this position. So I would not be in favor of changing it.
Anybody else?
I'm not in favor of changing it.
No, I mean, after thinking about it since our last meeting, I agree that I'd rather keep both of those positions as is myself.
I guess I'd be in the minority. I'd like to explore that a little bit more to see exactly where this would all fall out, but you know, I'll go with majority.
And I made my opinion last time, knowing that I agree with Bill and the rest of the majority here, that I'm okay with both of those staying protected positions. But Kathy, does it make it easier to get it off the agenda here? I mean, we can certainly vote on it.
Sure.
Any, Mayor, I know Chief, you weighed in on it last time. Does anybody else have any comments at this point?
Move to approve.
Second?
Okay, so the motion is to amend the salaries and benefits code to not have police and fire chief civil service protected. So, just so we clear what we're
Right.
voting on here, so, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, say no.
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 Okay, so we're done with it, we can remove it from council's agenda. 17-128, a fund transfer for the railroad fund. Is this Keith or Patrick, or?
If you need any details on the railroad, it'd be Patrick, but this is the railroad line that we own. It runs from, splits off there by AI Route, runs north up to, behind Progress to Gosing and Osborne, and runs south. We used to have a customer on the south end out on Lake Road. Currently, we only have the two customers on the north end. This is our transfer for our share for 16 and 17. Oh, and it's normally 17.5 a year, but we got a bunch of stimulus money when they did the stimulus grants. And because of that, we temporarily reduced both our contribution and the fee to the users, which is normally 17.5 a year, was reduced to 10 because we were ahead on repairs at that point with all that spending. That, I think, sunsets after this year, but Patrick is gonna have a meeting with the Railroad Commission, and we're gonna have to talk about that, especially if we don't have a third customer. We'd like to get a third customer back.
Move to approve?
Oh,
Oh,
sorry. Mark, do you have a question?
Pat, what's the overall condition of the railroad?
Railroad's pretty nice
Structurally,
shape.
everything?
Yeah,
I know we've done a lot of work to it, but.
we did an annual this year. I know we'll be replacing some ties as well, just to keep up. And we do have occasional, I'll say emergency, but on-call maintenance issues. But overall, it's in pretty decent shape.
Any further discussion?
We, just for the committee's benefit, we did approve the Board of Control an amount of money to have a special engineering firm. ODOT doesn't do it, they do the roadway bridges, but not the railway bridges. So we've always inspected them, but now they want to rate them, to inspect and rate them. So we had to authorize some money to do that, and we'll have that done here shortly. That was a requirement before September for us to do that.
Mary, has there been any interest on that that property that used to be the third party?
Yes, we had a meeting with the vendor that doesn't want to be identified at this point. Some preliminary discussions with them, with our whole team down here. They're very interested in the city, very interested in the rail spur. And Kimberly is not here because she's over at the school board tonight for a presentation on the TIF, but it looks like that is progressing positively.
Mayor, if I can just, she did talk to me real quick. There is
Okay.
an intent, a signed letter of intent,
Oh, good.
which should hopefully transition quickly into a signed letter of purchase agreement.
I saw a group there a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
Might have been longer now, but.
Yes, sir.
And having the rail open, it potentially could provide access to a number of properties along Lake Road. It's not just the one.
Sure.
And that's part of the reason we wanted to keep it open. I know that at least one has looked into it in the past. It wasn't cost effective at the time, but having it available is something we've always wanted to keep.
Second.
We have a motion and a second by Mark. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Okay, so Kathy, just on the next one, the budget amendments, the first three we're going to remove.
Yeah, the first three, because, well, Sherry just started, as the mayor's secretary, and there was just a duplication. Sherry did them, and also Barb Preserve did the same ones again, so they're on both of the requests, so I just deleted these three. We're not gonna vote on them.
So these three are really under 2017-018.
Yeah, 7844, 7845, and 7846 are gonna be removed.
Okay. So then the first one is the engine house donation.
Correct.
Okay.
And then the other one's all the same on the other page.
Keith, are these both you then?
Yeah, they're donations. It's a pass-through we need to appropriate.
And the engine house donation, I take it, is for the renovation?
Yeah, I think that was I think it was $200. That was
$640.
640, yeah. Like I said, I think it was 640. Wait a second, let me check my notes.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Jim, 640.
All right, any other discussion on that one?
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And then the second one is various bicentennial donations that really do cover all these first three, correct, Kathy?
Yeah, if you look, the first three on there, I believe those are the first three that I removed from the others.
The hat sales, it's the typical stuff, right, Keith? That's
Yep.
been-
Yep.
Is there any questions, discussion? Entertain a motion.
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, 17-130, which is the council salaries, which I know we voted on previously, but Keith, do you want to talk about this one?
I can, I talked to Kathy, but this just clarifies that it only applies to council positions that have an intervening election. It does not apply for the positions that are not up. And then we'll have to talk in 2 years about the 4 years out.
Okay, so it will just be the three positions that are up this year.
For the first 2 years, and then that'll be for 18 and 19, and then it will apply to all 7 positions in 20 and 21. But in order to get all 7 for 22 and 23, we'll talk about it again in 2 years.
So just for the book, I just split it into the different term limits. So the ones that were up this year for election will be this for the next 4 years, and the others that are up for election in 2 years will be this for the next 4 years. So that's just it's more clear when you look at it.
So nothing's changed from when we passed it on
Right.
June-
None of
the last meeting.
None of the amounts have changed. This just clarifies exactly what the salaries remain for the people who are not up for election until 2020.
Okay. And we've got the emergency clause just to meet the deadline for.
Because I'm doing the update in the book, yeah.
Okay. All right, any questions or discussion?
Move to approve?
With the emergency.
With the emergency clause?
Second.
All in favor with the emergency clause, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign?
Aye.
You got that, Kevin?
Did you get that one?
You're opposed?
I'm being consistent.
Consistent.
I learned that from the
Just say-
president council. Among one other thing.
Okay, 17-131 is the 3-year capital improvement plan for the MCRC. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. President. You saw this back in 2014, we actually put a plan in place for $175,000 back then to cover any expenses for the 5-year. Of that $175,000, we still have $92,000 left in it.
Sorry, Mike, can you speak up just a little bit?
Oh, sure, I'm sorry. Back in 2014, you actually looked at this, previously. It was a 5-year plan then. We've changed it to a 3-year plan. The Rec Advisory Board looked back at it in June. Of course, they see it every month and different things. We talk about everything as we go. Every month we'll go over everything, coming up and what we've already done and how much it was and everything. So the estimates, we're trying to just put funds in place again for the next 3 years. As you see, I requested another 150 plus the 92 we already still have in POs to cover expenses for this year also. The only change, the only difference is this is actually the first year we'll probably spend more than the estimated, only because the parking lot repair is going a lot higher than we anticipated. We thought we were just going to do a cover repair, and John decided when he talked to the contractor, it's time to rip it out and start over on the G and J lots. So we're going to grind that down about 2 inches and start back on a new paving for that. And that's going to be about over 100,000. It's 128. It's on the front, on the top for 2017. We got 128,546, and this is the total. So we pay half of this. So. Any questions? The board had very few questions. They usually don't. They said they get updated monthly.
And Mike, they've approved it then to send it on.
Yeah, they don't vote on it. They just look at it, and if they have any questions,
They were
answer
good with
that.
the plan.
Yeah, try to solve any problems, any questions they have. Only thing that we're concerned about is the roof issues. Dan Glash was good enough to come up, the last 2 times the architect went on the roof, Dan Glash went up with them and contractors, and the contractors we were talking with the architect said that the roof, we don't have to do a tear out, but there's 3 options for a roof. Since then, John has met with another contractor that he uses, and he's suggesting a tear off. So I asked Dan to sit on the next few, meetings they have again and talk to him about a tear off, because it's gonna be very expensive. That could be a total of $1 million in the next few years, and that would completely wipe out our capital improvement fund. So ideally, we'll do a core test, see if it's really, has any moisture in the roof that's currently there. So we don't see any signs of rust inside, any signs of rust in the ceiling like a lot of the rec centers get, especially in the pool areas. We don't have any of that. So we're not too sure about what the real moisture level is. And I asked Dan to be in on that. From this point on, before we make a decision to tear off for 64,000 square feet of roofing, it's a lot of money. So that's the only concern I have for the future.
Any questions?
Was that, that 250,000, was that pool area, is that what you're talking about? Or is that something-
Yeah, is that what we had it on above? It's actually that.
2018 pool area,
Yeah, that and the
competition
following-
and leisure pools.
That in the following year, we're gonna flip-flop those because we're having more issues in the pool. But the field house, I think, is, we're gonna flip-flop because we're having more issues in the field house. But since the school started using, one of their employees was a commercial roofer before he started with the schools, and he's doing a really good job of fixing the repairs, or the holes and stuff that were left from after the warranty expired back in September from Tremco. So we're comfortable with the repairs he's been doing. He does a great job. And I mean, today was the only day we had leaks, and I think the whole school did, because it was just blasted with all the rain we had. So we had a couple of leaks, but nothing serious. So yeah, the 250 and then the following 100,000 was to cover what we initially, the architect said we could do as a repair, putting a rubber membrane down, doing a repair and doing that. So that's what those funds were for.
And was there a second opinion on you said a contractor looked at the parking lots, those 2? Is that all the school's control, or? I mean,
It is, and,
okay.
yeah, because they own the lots, and
Right.
really, they're doing a lot of repairs too, I think, as Jim said.
They are, there's several buildings that
Yeah,
are,
they're doing it all.
So
I mean, we would
they've been
provide, every
there,
time
yeah.
you drive through it, when you're going through the parking lot spaces, it's a humpy routine, so I knew eventually it's gonna need some serious repairs, so it's a good year to do it.
I just had a comment, not a question, but, just before the meeting, going over, in the past years, especially from 2011 on, it just seems like you guys were able to accomplish a lot in keeping things in really good shape, so I just applaud you and your team
Thank you.
and keeping on top of things.
I think a lot of it has to do with the architect. We brought on the architect to do the larger jobs and do estimates, and even the track was estimated at 65,000, and the bidder came in at 34,000.
Mhm.
I mean, that's amazing for what we're getting on
Right.
the tracks. It's gonna be a 5-year warranty, plus 2-millimeter layer, and the same company that did the field house, but, they did purposely, I think they wanted to make up for the issue we had with the field house, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll need to abstain since it's my employer that benefits from this or as part of this agreement.
Move to approve.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Aye.
Thank you.
Kathy, do you want to talk about the next one, the amending the salary and benefit codes, kind of the cleanup you wanted to get done?
Oh, sure. Well, I mentioned I'm going to do an update of the salary and benefits code because it has been a while. And Lorene and Lori, Lorene from Civil Service and Lori from Finance Department, just pointed out a couple of things that we no longer have. And then we just did the change of the classified to unclassified for the Pete's clerk positions. So those needed to be changed, and there was one other thing about the union contracts for the expense reports.
10 to 30 days.
Yeah, so they're just little things that have been missed when we've done other changes, so I wanted to get them in. And that's my one emergency cost.
The end one mirrors the collective bargaining agreements we just did,
Right.
because 10 days wasn't really fair and timely for the finance department to be able to process those things, so we're just trying to get this to match.
And then Water Department, you're good with those changes, that makes sense, and then same with you, Keith, but.
Yes, the civil service approved that for me when we had it open.
And the emergency clause has been requested just to get it in time for the August update. Any other questions, comments?
Move to approve with the emergency clause?
Second with emergency clause.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Okay. And then the final one is expenditure over 15,000 United Survey, which is the street department. Nino, is that yours?
Yes, thank you. Well, as everyone knows, we identified numerous issues in the infrastructure with storm sewer related to pipe and basins. So some we excavate and repair and replace as a judgment call. This is good for grouting. So the grouting is done by a contractor and they pump the grout. And depending on the size of the pipe and the area of defect, how much volume we can repair. And typically, they can do that on the deeper digs that are 9-10 foot deep, where you don't have to have a box and if it's suitable. So there's a priority list that the street department has after cammering, and they want to go forward with getting a lot of these repaired.
And this is the list, so I know you and I have talked about it before. It's a huge list.
It's ongoing, yes. We have over 200 locations. We talk about it in the street budget, and next week we have the street budget, we'll talk about it again, and when you have 100 mile of storm sewer, and as old as it is, most of it's clay, there's a lot of failures. We do our best to keep up with them.
Again, not a question, a comment. My wife and I happen to be out in this torrential downpour today. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I do believe in areas that I were driving that normally flood fairly easily, and we had a lot of rain come down in a short period of time. I contributed to, and I just want you to confirm, since we had such a mild winter, and I've just continuously seen the department out cleaning out the storm sewers.
They were doing it this morning.
Yeah, and I think it really did make a difference, because, there was a lot of rain come down in a short period of time, and again, kudos to your staff and you.
Any other comments?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay. Anything else for finance? Bob?
Let John know how fast it went.
Yeah.
Get some more jobs out here.
Mark's got one item.
I brought it Mr. Coyne's attention, Lisa left him a message. We talked to First Energy Solutions at our last meeting, and to me, I think we've had other inquiries in the past. NOPEC was somebody that wanted to come in and talk to us, and we had the local company that, I can't think of the name off the top of my head, that worked with the county. I feel before we make a decision, and we have time, before we make a decision on First Energy Solutions, we give those two entities a chance to come in and say their spiel and what they can do, and I'm just throwing it out there.
Do you want to address
I was gonna say, I get probably 2 calls a week, so that means you open up to AEP and every broker that's called us. In fairness, then if you're gonna have just NOPEC come in
No,
and volunteer, like I said, there's 15 other numbers and companies that I have that have been calling me over, they constantly call their brokers, so I do shut them out.
so we just pull First Energy Solutions just because we had the contract before, and that was it? or-
Well, I look at it like we have, in my opinion, and talking to Greg Huber, and we had the contract, and they're not a broker, they're an energy provider, so there's a lot more there. There's not an agent, there's not a broker, so they're getting paid. And the answer is yes, if there is gonna be a contract, it's just easier to aggregate, and it makes more sense with the price.
So First Energy Solutions is not a broker for First Energy?
They don't have broker fee, no, so they're a sister company. It's different than having NOPEC come in, who's a consolidation group of brokers getting together. But if that's what the council wants to do, we'll entertain it.
wasn't First Energy's the only one Solutions that can offer this deal a year early too, right?
Yes.
Because it's their own.
Correct.
So we're really a year away from anybody else if we
Yes.
wanted to. Nobody else can change. We're tied into First Energy Solutions, correct?
Yeah, until December 2018.
So year and a half.
And I think, I mean, I understand what you're saying, thinking that maybe we could get a better deal, but.
Well, I just don't know, I'm just,
Well, and the only thing that I questioned before was, again, this company's not a broker, so there's, I guess you could still, with brokers, get somebody in here that might be able to offer a better deal, but I felt real comfortable in the last contract we had with First Energy. I mean, if there was only one or two other brokers, but to have 15 of them come in and make the same presentation, I would feel comfortable with First Energy.
Anybody else want to weigh in at this time, or?
And just from neighborhood experiences from past aggregations or when people went out and chose the low price bidder, and then that company could no longer support that lower price gas, so they just went out of business, and customers got stuck. Not saying that NOPEC or any of these other companies would do that, but there's a greater chance of that happening than with the First Energy.
Well, and did we ask First Energy Solutions for an extension of 30 days on those rates? How didn't we leave it with them that we needed it?
I'd have to check it. I know we did talk about it.
Yeah, we did, and they sent, I saw an email.
And I
think you said-
They extended it to August 2nd.
Yeah, I think you could
but
only
we can't-
hold it till the beginning of
Yeah,
August.
but we can't vote on it.
We're not
anyway,
back,
so.
Yeah, we're not back.
Yeah, we won't be back by then, so it's moot.
I thought they said they could extend it longer.
Well, just on that email, that's, he said on.
Yeah,
Maybe,
I saw
maybe
the-
that was all he could do on his own, and then he needed.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And then, Mark, did you see the renewable 100%
No, I-
energy that you had asked that question, that was in that
Yeah.
email as well?
I haven't reviewed that yet.
So, I mean, did John say anything about bringing it back at the first August meeting?
Talking pennies.
Mm-mm. I think we were just gonna wait since
Right.
we couldn't really vote on it because we didn't do it at the last meeting, so. Is that right?
Yeah, we did not vote on it last time, but then we asked for an extension. I thought he said he could do the one that night, but then anything longer he had to get approval for, so.
Correct.
I guess I wasn't sure. Did John talk to you about bringing it, like,
He did not. I thought we were just gonna leave it until,
August break.
because we weren't gonna be able to vote on
Yeah.
it before the deadline. They'd asked, and then after the last meeting, we got their reply that he could only hold it till the beginning of August, so. I didn't hear anything else since then.
so does that mean that it's not gonna happen then for an extension? We just wait till 2018, or?
Well, I don't know. That's up, Nina.
I think it's just
Does Nina
particular
talk
rates
to
he
him?
was quoting.
I think what'll happen is you'll see what the market changes now.
Right,
You
and he
know-
said it would only be pennies.
Correct. It was a hold for
on the
August.
Right.
Okay.
Price, and then see what the market yields shortly. John, not to speak for John in his absence, he felt that it may go down, but it could also go up.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Or it could stay-
How do you figure
or it
that
could
one
stay
out?
the same.
I was telling him it could go up, and he missed the boat.
And the gentleman did say that
Mhm.
that exact same thing, it would go up and down, but his predictions, and it would only be pennies on the either way, going down or up.
The
Yes.
gas market is driving.
Well, Mark, did John give you the indication that he was gonna bring it back in August, or?
No, like I said, I left a message to
Oh,
him
okay.
before I knew what was going on. But,
Make a comment. At the last meeting, we didn't actually assign it. We didn't have a contract or anything to view, to look at, so we didn't really have anything to vote on. It was just discussion at that meeting, so until we have something to, I guess, look at in writing, can't really do anything.
just throwing it out there. We get another long contract, I want to make sure we've looked at all options. And I mean, I know we don't want to talk about gas, but I mean, because it's so volatile, but if there's a company that's going to give us a certain percentage less of the market, why wouldn't we? That's kind of.
And then a
what
month
we're-
later, market changes it, because that's why the volatility, it changes monthly and it'll go down, and with the market being so over, I mean, there's so much production, that's what's driving electric down right now.
So until China really starts buying it
It's-
up, it'll go.
It's
back
gonna
up.
keep going down, and that's why it doesn't warrant gas aggregation. And
But
there's
it-
numbers I'll share with you with NOPEC and after, not in this meeting.
Well, I would like to hear more from First Energy Solutions, so I'm hoping that maybe when we come back in August, they can do something more formal and give us a quote then. And then we can make the decision if we're doing anything a year earlier or not. 'Cause it sounds like either we do that or we wait till December of 2018 and then make a decision at that point. that sound good, that we see if they
Have them
can,
back and,
yeah,
yeah, I
have something formal and put it on council for, and we can decide one way or the other whether we want them, because only they can offer us something early, otherwise then we vote them down, or say we don't want to do it, or not interested, then we have some time to figure out for December 2018, if we want to have these other ones come in month.
I'm just reading ahead. I'm already Googling some of what we're talking about, and there's an article here about First Energy profits down. There could be something with First Energy Solutions, so I definitely want to hear it. Just,
Anything else? We adjourn?